and welcome to a special mini episode of the Encore Offstage podcast. It's a conversational podcast where we talk about all things theatre. And Adam's frozen already. It's a great start to our mini episode, but we should explain why we've got these. We are taking a couple of weeks off here and there, so we're recording a few small episodes without a guest, just half an hour long, but we still have a quiz and a topic. So, Adam, what are you bringing to the show this week?
Yes. I'm bringing a topic this week, and I wanted to be a bit thought-provoking, but not too thought-provoking because, you know, it's not that serious. I wanted to get you thinking, and people at home thinking, about some of the shows that you've seen where what you've remembered about it that wasn't necessarily the people in it. What's made you take it away? So I'm going to be talking about that and give you some examples as well of things that I've seen and see if it helps provoke some thoughts.
That sounds brilliant. And Lucy, what are you bringing us this week?
Well, today, Ben, I will be bringing you both a theatre quiz based on quotes from different plays and musicals. So I hope you're good at your quotes there.
Ben looks really excited.
Well, if you saw the last episode, he says he's not sure now if it's going to go up in that order. But either last week's episode or next week's episode, you'll see that I was really awful at the quiz. So that bodes really well for today.
Do I look bothered? I'm winning. That's fine.
I can't actually remember who's winning between me and you in the series totals. Is it?
Me.
Is it actually you?
I don't know. Yeah.
I think it... Okay. So let's start with Lucy's quiz.
Okie dokie. Right then, gentlemen. Have you got your quiz at the ready?
I have got my buzzer.
Terence!
Oh,
come on, Terence.
Terence. We need a Terence theme. We don't have the Terence theme yet. But
Have we got a theme?
No, but if I can be bothered, Terence is going to appear right here. Say hello to Terence. This is Terence in all his form. I'm giving more editing to do here, but there is Terence. Here he is.
Adam, I think
I love Terence. Hi, Terence.
It should just be a cacophony of gobbles.
That's his theme.
Amazing. There we go.
There we go. There's Terence. Hello, Terence. Terence is here.
Help, Terence.
Terence is watching over us. There's more editing to do now, but he's here.
Wonderful, Terence.
Yeah.
Hi, Terence. We love you, Terence.
I need to move this way a little bit because Terence is going to come sit next to me. So.
Oh, why? It's my turkey.
Yeah, because it's much easier if I put him in my background than yours.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Don't make any harder.
Theatrical magic.
Yeah, his turn. I can talk to Terence because Lucy's amazing realization of Terence is going to be here.
I thought it was brilliant. I love it.
It's great. There's a lot of fun. So someone asked me though, what's wrong with his face? And I said it's because he's wearing a phantom mask, and I didn't see that there was a phantom mask. I just thought he'd got a missing bit of his face.
He's got a massive bow tie. What more do you want?
It's amazing. Right, Adam, your buzzer is obviously Terence, and my buzzer is, of course, Buzzard the Buzzer. Right.
Okie dokie, gentlemen.
Off we go.
You're going to need a buzzer now.
Are you ready for your first one?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Don't let me down, Terence.
Quote number one. So remember, these are a mix of musicals and plays for these ones.
Okay.
Death does not discriminate between the two people. Yes, Ben.
Hamilton.
That is correct. It is Hamilton.
Hang on a minute. Whoa. Let the lady finish the quote first.
Do you have to finish the quote, or can we just buzz in as soon as we know?
I mean, I don't care.
Yay! Brilliant. Right, next one. Let's get this win over and done with.
Thanks, Lucy.
Quote number two. I'm sick to death of cleverness. Everybody is clever nowadays.
Terence is speaking.
Terence
is speaking. I'm having a guess.
Mm-hmm.
Is it The Importance of Being Earnest?
It is indeed.
Oh, well done.
One
I
of
should
my
have known that.
favorite Oscar Wilde plays. I just love the
That
quotes
is good.
in it. The other
That is
quote
good.
I was tempted to put there was the one where losing one parent, Mr. Worthing, is one thing, but losing two is just careless.
Hairless. Oh, best quote in that show. Up there with handbag, of course.
That handbag.
Amazing.
Well,
There we go.
Okay.
see, anytime anybody says handbag, it's got to be done.
It's got to be done, absolutely. Right.
Settle down, Terence. Settle down.
No. Quote number 3. Even smiling makes my face ache.
I think my my victory lap was premature here.
Even smiling makes my face ache.
Yes, Adam.
I know it's not, but it's the only one that I can think. It's not the Addams Family, is it?
No, it is not.
Good guess.
Ben, you've got a chance here.
I was going to guess Wizard of Oz, but I'm wrong with that.
It is wrong.
Yeah.
Do you want like another little tidbit from it?
Oh, have we got another clue? Yeah,
Yeah.
another clue.
Okie dokie. Well, I'm going to give you another quote from it.
Okay.
I see you shiver with anticipation. Yes,
Oh,
Ben.
Rocky Horror.
It is Rocky Horror.
So what? Where's even smiling makes my face ache then in the show? Who says that?
So when he freezes them all with the Medusa machine,
Oh,
my own children turned on me.
yeah.
It's not easy having a good time. Okay.
Okay.
Quote number 4. Are you both ready?
I'm ready.
Yes. Is Terence ready? Well,
He's
let's
ready.
ask Terence. No, because
Terence, are you ready?
He'll have to be animated. Don't make me do that.
Okay, quote number 4. Until an hour before the devil fell, God thought him beautiful in heaven.
Say that again.
Sorry, I missed that.
Okay. Until an hour before the devil fell, God thought him beautiful in heaven.
Oh.
I'll give you a clue. Quite a famous Arthur Miller play. That was the buzzer I heard first.
I'm just going to guess Death of a Salesman.
It is not.
Oh.
Is it the Crucible?
It is the Crucible. It is the Crucible.
That was my other guess. I had 2 guesses and that was the
Oh,
one.
it's a shame, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okie doke. Quote number 5.
Yeah.
Ah, shut up. Open wide. Here I come. Turkey. Yes, Adam.
There's a Shop of Horrors.
It is indeed Little Shop of Horrors.
I still haven't seen that.
Oh, you need
Ben, you need to see it.
You tell me every
That's it.
episode, I'm pretty sure it comes up.
Yeah, well, that's how much you need to see it.
I do love it so. Okie doke. Quote number 6. You might get this one actually, Ben.
Yeah, you might get one, Ben. You might get one, Ben.
Thanks.
Okay.
That was the most backhanded compliment.
You might get this one.
You might get this
Probably
one.
won't, but who knows?
Love looks not with the eyes, but with the mind, and therefore is winged Cupid blind. Oh, I heard the turkey first, Adam.
Is it Midsummer Night's Dream?
It is Midsummer Night's Dream. Well done.
I'm even in. Me and Lucy are both in a production of it at the moment.
Oh, well, you should know it then, shouldn't you?
Yeah. As long probably not my bit though, is it?
No, it is Helena's bit.
Oh, sorry.
Say Helena, yeah.
Don't deal with that bit. That's over there. And it's not at all like I've done a Midsummer before and seen it several times at all.
I know. It's all right.
Oh, Ben. I mean, you're only two behind. So you've still got.
You're only 2 behind, Ben.
Only 2.
You're
Okay,
only
great.
2 behind.
Only two. Okay.
Okay, quote number 7. At last, my arm is complete again. I heard the turkey.
Sweeney Todd.
It is Sweeney Todd.
Sorry, didn't mean to tap.
Ben, you can't get the buzzer after I've answered the question.
After you've asked the question.
Do you know how quizzes work?
Apparently not, because normally when I ask questions, I don't remember the multiple choice.
Hey, good point.
No, This one I've just put in for the giggles for myself.
Oh, go on, Em. Go on, Em.
So quote number 8. Stella! I heard the buzzer.
Streetcar named Desire.
Streetcar named Desire. I couldn't resist.
Just so you could shout that.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, great.
Oh, I so easily.
Your neighbours love you.
Okay.
Margaret, Marlon Brando's living next door. Tell him to go and quiet down.
Is that,
Once a Stella, he can go to the off license and buy one himself.
Oh, okay. I'm calm again now. Okay, so quote number 9.
Number 9.
They both reached for the gun. I heard the buzzer first.
Hamilton. Chicago. Like, what?
Sneaky, but I'm gonna let you have that one, Ben. I'm gonna let you have it.
I just was like, my brain went to Hamilton first. Why? No, it's Chicago.
Why did you get...
What? I don't know. I had it on the brain. Oh. I didn't finish to say the word
pressed
Hamilton.
the buzzer, but I think I had lag there.
Were you thinking of the duel?
Yeah, I was thinking at the end. Yeah. And then of course I was like, no, Chicago. I've worked on that show. I should know that thing.
No.
I want to claim internet lag because I pressed that buzzer.
Okay,
Right.
I'm going to put Adam's being a baby about that. Yeah, cool.
This is why we brought Lucy in, isn't it, Adam?
Yeah.
It's to moderate it a bit.
Yeah.
All's fair in love, war, and quizzes.
And quizzes, yeah. Right, okay. You wait for the
Okay.
next one I do.
Quote number 10. Are you ready?
Yeah.
The only thing you've got in this world is what you can sell. I heard the turkey.
I want to say Death of a Salesman.
And you are absolutely right, Adam.
Yay!
Well done. And the scores are 4-6. So well done, Adam.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Was that I won that one? Oh, great. Yay!
Right. Everyone say bye to Terence now so we can distract from
Oh,
this.
bye, Terence.
Bye, Terence.
Bye, Terence.
Bye, Terence.
More
Terence.
That's the turkey theme, is it, Adam?
Sorry. It's just, I went to close the buzzer and it just started up with an advert. Sorry. Shut up.
Right. Terence is now gone, so I can sit back in my seat. Sorry, we got copyright. Talk over this. No.
Talk over copyright music because we don't want to get sued.
Good. We already have dealt with some claims, so this is great. Right. Well, that's. No, it's not him. I was about to say that's it. It's not. We're going to Adam for his.
No, that was a
topic.
mini episode.
It's not that short. I've lost. That's it now.
That's all right, mate. Don't worry.
Right, Adam. Let's go
Would
to
you
your.
like me to discuss my topic?
Let's segue awkwardly into a thought-provoking topic. Yes.
Okay, well, thought-provoking maybe, I don't know. So what I was thinking of, you know, when people think of shows, they think, we talked previously about what draws people to see a show. So it might be the fact that it might be the show name, or it might be the people that's involved in it. But when you go and see shows, there must be something about it that leaves a lasting impression on you. So what I wanted to talk about was that when you've gone to see a show, what's the lasting impressions that you've been left with from particular shows? The example that I would quote would be when Mary Poppins went on tour a few years ago. I went to go and see it twice. I went to go and see it in Birmingham and in Leicester, right? Because I thought it was fantastic. And it's one of the few shows that I've actually gone to another theatre to see. And what it wasn't the cast, because I wouldn't be able to mention who was in the cast. It's a fantastic show for theatrical effects anyway, but there's certain bits in it that just stand out. It was like magic. It was like looking at magic. I mean, there's a scene where in the film they jump into the painting, and on stage it's very grey and without you knowing, all of a sudden the lights change and there's all these extra things, these extra painting bits and these colourful things. I'm like, where the hell did that all come from? I was like, where did that all come from? But even when I went to watch it the second time, I was looking for it and I still couldn't see it. I couldn't see where it came in. And it's bits like that and certain magical effects and in other shows as well, there's been certain things that have happened and you go, wow, that stuck with me. I was wondering, and this is what I wanted to ask, was what was it particular about certain shows that stuck with you that made you think, oh, that was my favourite, or that I really like that, I'm going to remember that for a long time. So I'll get to Lucy first. What about you, Lucy?
Oh, I think one of the prime examples that springs to mind is I saw Dracula in Nottingham and the effects were incredible. So there was bits where they had sort of Dracula in the room and then he'd quickly disappear and you couldn't even see how they did it. It was so quick and seamless. And they had this fight scene at the end, and I've never seen this before. They did a fight scene in the rain. So they had like a rain effect on the stage. And I've never seen that before. In all the time I've gone to theatre, I've never seen that before. And I just thought the effects were so incredible, sort of how they had the vampires appear and then suddenly disappear, how they had them interacting with other members of the cast on stage. And then that fight scene at the end was just spectacular. And it always seems to be sort of effects. Like another show where the effects were what stayed in my mind was Bat Out of Hell. So how they did sort of the effects on stage, it's one of the best stage setups I've ever seen for a show is Bat Out of Hell. And the bit where they had the motorbike crash, or where they had sort of at the end where the baddie jumped into the pool of water and then came out in a like completely different costume change. It was just so, again, just really fantastic effects that just made you really appreciate the effort that the whole sort of tech and costume team go into for these kind of things. And stage setups as well. So I remember seeing Sweeney Todd in Derby, and I loved how they worked with the rotating stage there. I just thought they used the space so cleverly. So you could see sort of from the person falling into the chair, going down into sort of the pipe, like the, you know, the incinerator at the end.
Wow.
So clever sort of watching that. Those are sort of three prime examples of sort of how staging and effects has really stuck with me when watching a production.
What about you, Ben?
I was just thinking about this because as theatre creatives and actors and all that sort of stuff, and people who just watch a lot of theatre compared to your average person, I think we notice things more about set. We notice more effects and we go, oh yeah, we've seen that effect before, we can pick it up on it. And to have something that stays with you is even more special for us because, as I say, it has got to be something that completely, that you just don't, it's something you don't see coming. But having said that, my two that I was going to talk about for this are not necessarily just because of the effects and the staging. Whilst the design and staging is incredible on both these productions, it's the content of the show that stuck with me more. So, first example, start easily, is Les Mis, obviously. Yep. Now, the design of Les Mis is incredible at the best of times, and I saw the old production with the Revolve in 2017, I think, in the West End. So I saw the old version before it got, the new version got updated quite recently. And that the design of that show stuck me, but also the content, obviously. So the all of the barricade sequences just really stuck with me throughout. And I remember right at the end, I was just in bits. We were all in bits. It was just one of those. We didn't know very much going into seeing it. We deliberately hadn't really looked. It's one of those things we just didn't know Les Mis very well, so we just went to go and see it, not knowing anything. We got very confused in the interval because you have to read the program synopsis, otherwise you don't know what's going on. But it just that really stuck with me, and especially specifically Gavroche's death really stuck with me. Then. Yeah, sorry. I mean, it's called The Miserable Show. I mean, everyone dies, so better. I mean, if you listen to this and you haven't seen or don't know Les Mis, why? Okay, next one I have is Jesus Christ Superstar. This was the first musical I ever saw back in 2012, possibly. Don't know. But it was, I can't remember his name now, but the bloke who played Jesus in the 2000 film version, he was going back and doing another tour of it.
Oh, Ben Foster.
No, not Ben Foster. That's Glenn Carter. That's him. Not Ben Foster.
Oh, him. Yes.
No,
yes.
yeah, Ben Foster was
he's
in
got
the
a
arena tour.
fantastic voice.
Yeah, Glenn Carter was in. This was.
Oh, that's it. Yes. Sorry,
Yeah,
got
this wasn't the arena tour. Don't worry. This wasn't the arena tour, but this was just the bog standard sort of production of it. But it was the crucifixion was what just stuck with me, and as being my first musical I'd ever seen, wasn't particularly into them at that point. And the whole show is just embedded. It's for being one of the first things I saw, I can remember it all so visually, especially that visual right at the end. And again, the entire content of the whole show is heartbreaking at times. And then finally, for specifics in terms of content, I will always talk about this, and it's a play. And I've talked about it loads on the podcast before, but it's A Monster Calls by Old Vic.
I really want to see that.
They have a recording of it, which they put on YouTube a little while ago.
Is that the Old Vic one?
Yeah, so it's the Old Vic's production, and I love the book. The book was one of my favourites growing up. The author is one of my favourite authors. And we went to go and see the production in the Old Vic, and we saw the first cast, and there were 2 casts on this show. And it's really hard to describe because I'm not going to spoil it, because if you can find a recording of it, go and watch it, because you just need to see it. But it is the most unbelievable production I have ever seen, both in terms of visually and the original content. It's incredible. It is heartbreaking, and I will obviously always give a warning that it deals with some really heavy issues to do with death and cancer and losing family members. So if that is a possible sensitivity, I wouldn't recommend it, because it is gut-wrenchingly horrible at times. And its depiction of mental health is so incredible, and it just speaks to so many people. I think it is so hard to describe. I won't say anything more because I don't want to spoil it. But it was so good that when it toured again, it came to Nottingham right before the first lockdown, actually. It was the last professional piece of theatre I saw. We went to go and see it again with a secondary cast, and it was just as incredible. Actually, we went with family members who couldn't have made the trip to London, so they got to see it in Nottingham. And the second time around, even though I knew exactly how it ended, I knew exactly the beats of the script. I've got the script. I've read it so many times. It still hit me in a really horrible way. It really did, even though I knew the line for line, beat for beat. I knew what was going to happen, and it still just broke me completely. Yeah.
It's power of theatre, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Are there any productions for you two where costume has stood out? Because I find sometimes costume gets overlooked, but I feel like a good costume can really make or break a production.
That's an interesting one, because costume is something I don't normally really, it's not something to think about, but it's never anything that I go, oh, the design of the costume was fantastic. It's always physical set pieces or something like that I go to first. And I'm just trying to think.
I think for me, best prime example is the costumes in The Lion King. I think so the construction and how they use them are incredibly clever.
Absolutely. I was very lucky that the V&A in London had a costume exhibition on. Ooh. And a couple of years ago, we went to go and see it, actually, whilst we were down there. And it was, they had the Lion King costumes and sculpts, mask sculpts on show. And it was just to get, they're obviously in a big glass box, but to get within feet of them, you could just see the intricate detail and the beauty of them. I haven't actually seen the show, but they were stunning.
Oh,
absolutely stunning.
Because watching the show and how they use it, you can just kind of like how I felt looking at sort of the Warhorse puppet.
Yeah,
I just think it's incredible how.
But I was going to say, not really costume, but I can think of it just makes me think about the things that people miss when they go to see shows. They think you're going for the cast, but you go for the show, you go for the story, and the things that you're left with are usually stuff that people don't think about, like the lighting, the sound, the technical side of things, the things that you think are dead easy, but they've taken hours and hours and hours to get right. And to me, that is what theatre's about. It's like you could quite easily go and see a workshop version of a show or a studio version of a show. But when you go to a full theatre production of something, you go and you see the whole magic of it all. And I remember doing the first ever play I ever did was a play called The Herbal Bed, right? And it was set in Shakespeare's time. And this company, now defunct, unfortunately, they've had to close, but the Prospect Players in Arnold, they built the back of a Shakespearean house and a whole herb garden from scratch. It was like all the flowers were papier-mâché, different species of flowers. And I was stood there, and because the idea was he was an apothecary, so he had his herb garden in the back of the garden, and he'd got the back of the house, he'd got his workbench, everything, and we had to erect this whole back of this house in this theatre. It was at least 10 foot tall, and it was like, what the heck is this? And it was like, and it was a week. It was an amateur show. It was done for a week, and that was it. It was all just taken away, and disposed of. And you think, the effort that's gone into that people just go and they'll say, oh, so-and-so's performance wasn't actually, and it's like, look at the stuff, look at all the things. And that to me is brilliant. A lot of people say if you sat looking at the lighting, you're not very interested in the show. But sometimes you can sit and you can look and go, where's that coming from? Who's doing that? Who thought of that idea?
The first thing I do when I go, this is going to sound really awful, and I might edit this out if it sounds too bad, but the first thing I do when I go and see a show is quite often I'll go and walk to the very front of the apron.
Okay.
And I will look, up at the rigs they've got up above, because that sort of thing interests me.
Yeah.
Or any addition, kind of know what our local theatres have normally, so I can go, oh, is there anything special that I might notice? Any clever things hidden around? Or I'll look in the wings and see if there's anything there. And I just try and see if I can see anything that might be waiting around the corner. I just sort of, because that sort of thing really interests me. So I'm like,
okay,
can I see a nice bit of some form of special lantern I've not seen in that theatre before or something? Okay.
See, I wish I was more technically minded, because I do sort of really appreciate sort of good sort of lighting and effects and things, but I have no clue how it works.
No, it's like, again, you go, yeah, we can do that. That's no problem. Can you? Oh, great. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, you do that then. I'll just take a back seat and watch you do it.
What's nice to having done drama through education is that I got taught in actually probably more so in design than I have done in performance.
Yeah.
So for me, design is always kind of my focus, which is weird because that's what I got. So, I mean, we got trained so specifically that I can name individual styles of lantern if I needed to. It's like the niche detail, and it's just that basic sort of underlying what is that, what that means for me is that I can go to a lighting designer and specifically say what I want. But it's
detail.
Yeah.
Attention to detail. It's like if I do a show and I've got sound effects, if I don't want the same sound effect twice in a row, I'll vary it up. I'll find a similar sound effect, but I won't find the same one because it just doesn't make sense.
No.
Or it's like if the music that you might use, or the noise, or the lighting that you want, all affects the audience's experience. And it's like, again, that's what I take away from stuff.
Actually, there's one show that you were in, Adam, and the effects in one part of it really stood out. I always remember it. When you did Susical, there was one routine where I just loved the clever use of props, because you had umbrellas that transformed into jellyfish.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so clever. I loved that bit. That's one of the bits that I took away from that, just the clever use of sort of...
With the UV light and everything.
Yeah, it just looked incredible. Like just the clever use of simple props to turn them into something else.
Yeah. And again, stuff like that is great. Again, we could talk about this for hours, so I'm conscious it's a mini episode. But out there, if anybody's listening, what have you taken away from particular shows that you've seen? Was it the cast? Was it the story? Was it the technical effects? What's your favourite show, and what reason is your favourite show? And ask us if you got any thought-provoking questions. Just feel free to drop us a line.
Yeah, please do. Right, I think that's actually going to wrap up this special mini-sode of the podcast.
Mini-sode.
We will
Let's
be
trademark that.
Yeah, I'm sure someone already has. But yeah, mini-sode. We're going to be returning at some point to full episodes with guests and everything. Just look out for them. They will be around. They'll be interspersed with these couple of mini-sodes here and there, whilst we just get to a point where we're able to hopefully record in person. Who knows?
Let's just say mini-sode one more time.
Mini-sode.
There you go.
Yeah. Nice? Happy?
It is, yeah. Well, you've said it enough times. It's now canon. Right.
It's not us. And we also this week we've had a physical appearance from Terence of Turkey as well.
We have.
He's joined us. Hopefully he'll be back in a couple of weeks' time.
Sure.
But until then, I think it's time we should wrap up. As this is a mini-sode, Adam, we're gonna keep you out. Actually, we are gonna keep you out.
Yay! I met
Yeah.
a big hairy spider last week. He wasn't very nice.
What was he called again?
Harry.
Or wait, I think he might be next week. Actually, you might be about to meet him in the future.
All right, okay.
Sorry,
I'm
just time traveling a little bit there.
It's all right.
I think.
Just because you don't know your schedule.
I don't have a schedule.
Ben's like a budget Doctor Who.
He is, isn't he?
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. Great.
His regeneration 12 and a half.
Thank you. That actually means a lot to me, being a massive vegan. Right, we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much for listening and watching. If you're listening on Anchor or any of the other listen-only sites, leave us a rating or review. Or if you're watching us on YouTube, hello, you can see us. Please subscribe and ring that bell, comment, like, all that fun stuff. If you want to follow us on our social medias, you can do at Encore Offstage Pod on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Or alternatively, you can follow us a little bit more on Patreon. We have a list of amazing rewards, including the top tier, which includes becoming a guest host on our show. We'll leave a link to that in the description down below. Right, I think that's all remains to be said. Is from Adam, Lucy, and myself. We will see you all next week. Thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.